Hi everyone, this is Jana Pawlowski. I'm the founder of The Accountable Mindset, and today in today's session I'm going to be talking about stress-free selling. And this is something that does come up recurrently in terms of sales being closely associated with stress. And many people who have spoken to some of my clients find it challenging in terms of how to really speak to clients and offer them a product or service in a way that is not what's often called icky or salesy. And I would like to look first of all at what a sales process is. And there are two parties involved. One party that is looking for a solution to the problem, for a product that solves their need. So basically, they're actually something who need and want something, and that's the buyer. The other party, the seller, is someone who's offering a product, a service. However, what it actually is a solution that is going to make someone's problem go away or at least reduce it. So when we're talking about the sales process, it's all about bringing the right solution to the right challenge or problem. And this way, the sales process becomes a very different conversation. I'm going to talk about this in more detail now. So the stress level, where does it come from? This is really where the buyer and the seller have a dynamic where the seller effectively is not entirely comfortable with the process. So there are two elements overall to consider. One is the actual product or the service that someone offers. And the other one is the whole sales process, where the discussion point is how, well, on the one hand side, what the challenge, what the problem, what the pain point someone has is, and then also what the solutions available on the seller side are to alleviate that problem or that challenge the buyer has. So ultimately, it's about bringing two parties together for mutual benefit and to solve a challenge and a problem. So what happens is that when I speak to people, most of the time what happens is when they say they become stressed about selling, it is more in the latter stages of a conversation with a potential client. So when the conversations moves from the challenges and the solutions to actually the investment and the reward for helping someone alleviate that pain point and finding the solution. So this is where most people say that their discomfort levels in the conversation when they offer a solution or a service do increase. So it's first of all considering, many of us have worked in hospitality or have worked in a shop before. And when you think about when you're there, where you're behind the counter, when you work for that particular shop or company, and someone comes in to buy bread or milk or chocolate, whatever it might be, nappies. Have you ever felt uncomfortable servicing them at the checkout counter, where they bring you what they need and want, what sells the problem, and you then effectively add it all up and ask them to hand money over for the products that they want to purchase? So if the answer is no, then it's worth starting to think how sometimes, especially in the online world, we're actually providing a solution. However, we're still uncomfortable with asking for the monetized reward or return on investment that we should be asking for, and that is actually going to be reflective of the huge change to someone's health, wealth, or happiness when they're actually looking to solve a problem or a challenge. So this is a great example where you can see actually between a seller and a buyer, the dynamic is very, very different. And this is something that happens all the time, every day in every shop. And many of us have been actually on the selling side in such a situation. So I want to talk about two things. First of all, the product and the solution someone provides, and how to make sure that this is not causing any stress in the conversation with a potential buyer, and also about the whole process. So the process, which most often is the element that's causing most of the stress. So what I would like to use as some of you might be familiar with a process called Kanban, and please please comment and ask me any questions you want. I can see some people have joined. So there's a continuous improvement concept tool called Kanban. And I find this is really helpful to really explain the dynamics of the dynamics between the buyers and the sellers. So Kanban originally introduced the pull and push system, and this is still used in manufacturing as a way of explaining actually how to think about the dynamic between the offer and the demand. So we're talking effectively about a marketplace, just a different marketplace. And what happens within Kanban is that effectively you have two options. Either you have a product or a service, particularly a product in manufacturing, and this is being manufactured on the base maybe of market research or what do you know, but not to a very specific client demand. So the person who, the provider of the product is effectively firstly producing that particular product, and then starting to worry who to sell it to and how to sell it to. And what this means is that there's already cost that has been spent. Obviously, the product has been produced. There's been different material costs, marketing costs, and so forth. So the pressure is really on to sell that product. So from a push point of view, to push it out to a client or a customer. So the pressure is on. As opposed to that, the other way of doing it is to work with the pull. So the pull means that someone wants a very specific product, and then within the process, the provider, the seller is producing that product to a specific demand. So there's already a client or customer who wants that particular product and is pulling, so to speak, to get that, and is making clear that they want this. So this is really a very good way, I find, to explain some of the discomfort that can be created with products and services that we provide. Because if we apply the push principle, is that we might think we have a fantastic solution, a fantastic product for potential clients. However, this might not be with the total clarity about who's going to buy it and what need or pain we're actually servicing and alleviating. Whereas on the pull side is people coming to us and asking us for a solution, asking us to help them to solve a problem, to solve the challenge. And there's the pull from the potential client. So the whole demand for what we're offering becomes very different. And what does this actually mean for coaches and business owners in the online world? It really means that getting the avatar right, really understanding who is your ideal client, is absolutely the foundation. Because when you're clear about who your client is, what the pain point is, what keeps them awake at night, what their health, wealth, or happiness challenge and pain is, then you're actually able to respond to a pull, because they will be looking at some point, they will be looking to solve that problem, to alleviate that pain. So they will be, in the spirit of Kanban, they will be pulling to get that service, to get that solution, and really resolve the situation there and improve their life and change whatever they're suffering from or uncomfortable with and looking to improve. So they'll be looking actively for that solution. So if we really understand what they need and want in the online space, through understanding the avatar, then we can really tailor the solution that responds the product, the service, in many cases, to the problem they are looking to resolve. So it's no longer that we are trying to sell them something and we believe it's great. It's actually them coming to us and saying, I have this problem, I have this challenge. Do let me know how you can help me to solve it. So do let me know, please, in the chat if this makes sense. This pull-push principle in terms of, does the client demand come first, or does the product or service that we provide come first? Because that's really absolutely key to the discussion around discomfort in sales. So this has been now about the service or product we provide, but there is the much bigger challenge for many people, which is actually the process itself. And the process is really a conversation, an exchange of information, messages between someone who has a problem and is looking for a solution and the person who has potentially a solution. So it's about finding out, do they match? And this conversation, very often as a potential seller, a service provider, we can find really what people describe icky or uncomfortable. And when you think about what I've been saying about the pulling and the pushing, the discomfort tends to come from when we're actually not sure if we can really help someone. Because when it comes to the question of, okay, so you have a problem, I can help you to solve it. The next step of the conversation, of course, is money. And this is, so closing the conversation, moving on to the business part, is where a lot of discomfort happens. So the question is really, in the process, first of all, do you really want to help someone? Because this is the starting point. You will have to want to help someone. And when you do that and you have a really good solution, you know it works, people have been telling you it works, then what you're offering is no longer a product or a service. What you're offering is a solution. And this solution that you're offering, people might have been looking for not just days, but weeks, months, or maybe even years in some circumstances. And this is then a completely different starting point for the conversation, where ultimately the person will be looking not whether you can provide the service and whether you can help them, but they will start looking at you as someone who can alleviate the problem and transform their life, the quality of their life for the future. So helping them discuss, going with them through what is going to be the life like, what are they going to think, feel, do, say when they have solved the problem, and really understanding this helps to match the solution to the problem and the challenge they're experiencing. And when this happens, it's all about really the help to change someone's lives, help someone transform their life. And then when the person starts know, like, and trust you, which is what happens when between two human beings, is they start seeing how you can help to change their life, transform their life. And this is no longer than a sales conversation. It's really a transformational life conversation. And if the person has had, especially for a longer time, a challenge, a problem, a pain around health, wealth, or happiness, the question that comes next is, of course, do they really want to solve it? And if they really want to solve it, then they're looking for a solution, and it's no longer a sale. It is really about helping someone to get a better life and a better future. So let me know how this feels to you, because this is actually really important for sales. And I'm not going to talk about the exact sales script today. That's not what this is about. It's much more about some of the mindset around conversations with potential clients, and how looking at the dynamic and the matching between the need and the solution can really help to change how you feel about sales. And it certainly helped me in the past. I know other people who it has helped in the past as well. So I'm really interested in hearing if this resonates, if you think this is going to be relevant to what you do and how you operate. This would be really helpful. And also let me know if you have any specific questions, because there is one that I've been asked before. I'm going to be sharing this as well. But if you have any additional ones about what I've been saying, would be great as well. And please do post them now. So the question I've been asked before on the topic is, how do I move from talking about the solution to talking about money? And this is a great question. I think this is really where, for many people, the stress level spikes in a conversation with a potential client. And first of all, I would like to just revert to what I said earlier, that it is all about solving someone's problem. So we are not sellers when we provide a service. We are solution finders, and we really are problem solvers. And this is really, really important to remember. And when talking about the challenges and the solution that we can offer and how we can alleviate that pain, a great question to ask is really to transfer towards the actual business part, if you like, of that conversation, is to ask, how much have you invested in the past in solving that problem and solving that challenge? Because this is what transfers then the conversation from the more solution-oriented focus to how much the person actually, first of all, has already invested in the past in solving that problem. And clearly, when they talk to you, not successfully, it's likely. But also then continuing the question with how much do you invest to really close that out, bring this to an end, alleviate that pain once and for all. And this is what really transfers really nicely the conversation from talking about the challenge and the solution to talking about, if you want me to help you, and we've agreed that I can do that and I'm able to, then how much will you be investing? Because ultimately this is what's going to solve your problem once and for all. And always remembering that we are trying to help the person, but the return on that service is something that we can really expect, and a fair payment for the size of the problem, the benefit that the person is going to gain from that help. So this is where actually the person who wants a solution, is looking for the solution, is actually putting an order of magnitude on that investment that they are prepared to make to really stop having that problem and move forward in their life. So this is something I've heard before, and I've done myself as well. Let me know if this is helpful. And also in going forward, after we finish the session, when you use it, do post how it's been going for you. I'm really, really interested in always in hearing back about how the tips apply to you and what difference they make to what you're doing in your business. So in summary, I'm going to bring the session to a close. So if you have any questions, post them now. But in summary, it's all about being problem solvers, not sellers, but problem solvers for someone who has a challenge, has a problem, and really, really wants to solve it and believes that you, me, are the person who can help them with it. So if you have no further questions, then I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me today and being here with me. And any questions, contact me at joanna@theaccountable-mindset.com or LinkedIn, Facebook, and the group, The Accountable Mindset Community on Facebook. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.